Good day to you. My name is Cal Davian. This is another edition of Typical Males Podcast. Today's little ditty I call Idiotic Awakening. You know, whenever men get together outdoors, sitting around a fire pit and sipping their favorite brew, the inevitable happens. Topics that would normally not surface anywhere else seem to ooze out. Guys like to brag about bigger is better, even though half the time this is far from the truth. But in the case of ice cubes, this is indeed the case. World-famous bartenders shared some of their secrets, and one of them was about a big ice cube versus multiple smaller ones in a drink. They revealed that there's less surface area on a giant cube because, they explained, a larger cube is going to melt slower and take longer to dilute. One large cube can keep your drink colder longer. Evidently, they said, women liked the smaller cubes because it gave them something to chew on. You know, like when they're patiently waiting for you to finish your slurred bragging story to some male billiards buddies you just met. Well, what had started the whole thing was this guy's talking about nothing in particular around the fire. We started to remember our days spent in grade school. We used to do science experiments using ordinary items. Doing those tests made us realize that the world wasn't as simple as all that. It was a complex, mysterious creation. My mother, in fact, when she became exhausted with me, always directed me to ask my teacher for the answer to the curiosity question. It was probably because she didn't know the answer herself. Well, one of the guys sitting around the fire was the only one sipping on a drink that wasn't a beer. He was rotating his glass, watching his ice cube travel in circles. This became interesting when the rest of us noticed how bottled up, irritated, and focused he was on that miniature iceberg in his glass. Turns out, he was frustrated with how fast his cube was melting. That meant he would have to go yet again into the kitchen to get another one. When he returned, we all teased him. After all, we agreed, if he was drinking beer, he wouldn't have had that problem anyway, right? He started to get emotional, saying how the whole world was stupid. Heck, he said, even his brainless ice cube was against him. Are you for real? The circle got quiet, eager to hear what possible regretful and garbled response he could possibly offer. But yes, he did just that. The more he spoke, the more the rest of us quickly escalated into snorting fools, trying our hardest not to explode in tearful laughter. And just what good was an ice cube besides the obvious? Well, now we go back to grade school, where the teacher would challenge us with some impossible question. After more minutes and more drinks, we were offering virtually useless answers. Then our ice cube buddy grumbled and proceeded to get up to retrieve another. And then it suddenly hit me. Hey, I really did have a viable answer. Everybody got quiet as I instructed them to look into Cubie's drink. So what, they say. Well, I explained, think about that distorted ice cube in there, all distressed and jagged looking. The acid in the alcohol had taken its toll rather quickly. What a wonderful way to teach someone the harms of alcohol and what it might do to one's stomach lining. The circle all turned in my direction, paused for a moment, and then howled out in choking laughter. Okay, that's just fine. Just remember who got all the A's back in science class. Where was I going now? Where else? Back to the kitchen to get some more ice cubes to throw at my idiot slurry best friends. That's today's edition of Typical Males Podcast. Remember, you can always purchase the complete book, Typical Males, available at Barnes & Noble, online, and at other major retailers. Until next time, ciao.